Yes, guys, welcome, Harrys, everyone. Good evening to you all. Hope you're all doing good, guys. Hope you're all doing good. Yeah, this is a little Liverpool show here, guys. We're going to talk all things Liverpool. And we've got transfer things to talk about. Fabinho is of interest to Barcelona and Atletico Madrid. We're going to be talking about that today as well. Bobby Firmino. Should we give Bobby Firmino a new contract as well? So, a couple of things there to talk about, guys. So, big up to everyone in the chat right away. Much love, much love. Don't forget that like button straight away, guys. Hit the fun button. Get the likes up. Get the likes moving. Subscribe if you're new here as well, guys. I would appreciate it. Let's get the sub count up to 3K as soon as we can. I appreciate the love. Thank you very much, everyone coming in. I appreciate it. First things first. This man looks ridiculous. Life ain't fair, man. Life ain't fair. He's a good-looking guy, best goalkeeper in the world. Look how he dresses, man. Life ain't fair, you know what I'm saying? Life is not fair. Yeah, I love Ali Becker, you know what I'm saying? Oh, sorry, guys. I do appreciate it. Oh, man. Ali Becker. Look at him. Look at him. Clean-shaven Ali, you know. Look at clean-shaven Ali right there. Can't put a foot wrong. Look at him. Love the man. Love the man. Jesus Christ. If I was a woman. if I was a woman. Good evening to everyone in the house anyway. Hope you're all happy. Hope you're all good and you're having a decent start to your week. It is Tuesday. Is it Tuesday evening? What? It is Tuesday evening, ain't it? Getting lost in my weeks. Almost Wednesday already. Where is it all going? You know, it's flying. Big up, Enz. How you doing, my man? Hope you're doing well. We're not selling Fab unless he wants to leave. I'm not sure about it. 6 times in house. I'd move on Naby, Ox, Milner before I'd even think about moving on Fab, to be honest. Big up Zahib. Get the likes up. Goggle, how you doing, my man? Who's going to take over the Americans? Big up John Conway as well in the house. 1892 Reds. How you doing, my friends? Big up Jane 50 mil sold. 6 times is a free agent in the summer after Napoli revealed they won't be renewing his contract. I haven't watched Street Kings yet, Vic. I completely forgot about it. You reminded me. I will watch it. Don't worry. Evening, Jay. Up your family. A good message on Twitter. Okay, I'll have a look at that. And big up Ilias. How you doing? Can't be giving Bobby a new contract. It's interesting. Big up Chris. How you doing, my friend? Yes, Jamie. How you doing? We should keep Fab. What do you reckon? I don't know. We're going to get it. Pretty well up front. And so giving Bobby a new deal wouldn't be a bad idea. And would mean buy a few more centre mids. And he's a man of God. Evening, Jay. Big up, Stephen. Nay says he cooks, baptised, and played guitar. He's putting us all to shame. Do you know what I mean? He's putting us all to shame. And Anderson is better at attacking headers than Omri, and he's 6'4" and he's rich. The R9 program is currently on BBC 4. Only one Ronaldo. Yeah, there is only one Ronaldo. Jamie, have you seen the FIFA Uncovered series on Netflix? They are the modern day mafia. Oh, man. Yeah, don't start me with FIFA, man. We could be here for weeks. Oh, they're dodgy, man. Corruption City. They're just gangsters. They're G's. Do you know what I mean? Pure gangsters. We've got 50 people in the house watching already. 25 likes. That's 1 in 2. I want 1 in 1, guys. Let's get 50 likes. Let's get the likes up. Press the fun button right now if you've not pressed it. It's free to do. It's that little fun button right underneath the video, right there. Go and press it on your phone or your tablet with your finger right now. Let's get them likes soaring up towards the 50 mark. Big up to everyone in the house. Much appreciate everyone coming in. I really do. You know, I always do. Me and Ricky are wanting sorry to take this away from Liverpool, but Man United linked with Kylian Mbappe. That ain't happening. I mean, Kylian Mbappe is only going to see what Ronaldo's saying at Man United. Do you reckon he's going to go? You know what I mean? Although I think Ronaldo's at fault because he's a whiny prick. But, you know, I can't see it. I can't see it happening myself. But you never know. Weirder things have happened. Big up, Gary. Big up, and you see what Emirates said at lunch of Cot. We are going to Dubai. I love Fab, but he's not going to be any good for us going forward at his age and injury. So let's get the most money for him. Big up, KVJ. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, big up everyone in house already. 58 people in here. 33 likes. Let's get the likes up to 50, guys. So if you've not pressed that like button yet, what are you waiting for? It takes half a second to do. It's free to do. Just go and press that fun button underneath my video right now. And it helps the channel out massively. It helps you more than you think, guys. Let's get them likes ballooning up if we can. Anthony shared a tweet with me. What did he say? Multiple sources also say that the sale process is framed towards an American-led investor, with one group already said weeks into talks and other investors who especially considered Chelsea still giving a bid serious consideration. A bit more info on the prospective Liverpool sale. My understanding is that FSG would prefer a full sale over a minority investment, despite hearing offers of all kinds. And the expectation from those familiar with the process is that a sale may happen sooner rather than later. Important note: sooner is a sale. Consistent still takes a fair amount of time, especially with no interested party in exclusive talks or having undertaken due diligence. But sources do stress wheels are very much in motion, with Mike Gordon now focused on finding options. Jurgen Klopp has been given guarantees, regardless of timescale, that the next two transfer windows won't be affected by the process. It's business as usual on the recruitment and planning side. Since David Alstein broke the news of a potential sale, Liverpool have had a number of new suitors inquire, but Dubai Holding or an affiliate and Mum, how do you say that? Mum Tokatak both deny interest. MENA-based buyer or investor is not likely. So it looks like, yeah. So look, on the old look, guys, on the face of it, of getting rid, look, new owners and all that, right? The new owner talk is the big thing in town. That's what everyone wants to talk about, right? I don't think anyone knows. I don't think anyone knows. But my most likely outcome, I think it will be an American ownership. I think they're just doing their dealings in America. I think FSG don't want to sell to the Middle East. They don't want to sell to state or Arabs or whatever you want to say, ownership. I literally don't think FSG want to sell to them. I think FSG want to sell to Americans. And the thing is, though, don't forget, guys, it's a big it's a big price. You know, apparently FSG, the rumours are FSG are coming willing to listen to £3 billion, which is 2.7 billion US dollars, the same amount of money that bought Chelsea Football Club. If they're looking at that, if that's what they're looking at, then I expect it to be American owners, guys. I expect it to be American owners. But what you've got to remember is anyone who's coming in with money of 2.7 billion US dollars to buy a football club, they've got money to invest at the same time. So, look, you've got to remember, Newcastle United were bought by a consortium. Chelsea were bought by a consortium, you know, and they still invested a lot of money. So if it's a consortium that go and buy Liverpool, they will still have to invest lots of money, because if they want to see money back on their return, you've actually got to invest it if you want to win. There's no point buying a club for 2.7 billion US dollars and you don't invest in that, because if you don't invest in it, the club's not going to win anything and you wasted all your money. So I wouldn't be too worried who actually takes over, guys. I wouldn't actually worry who takes over, because of that amount of money, you're going to have to be able to afford to invest at the same time. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to afford to buy the club. So that's why I'm not too worried on it, guys. I'm not too worried on it. And I mean, buying a club for 300 million, you know, you can get that back from a football club quite quickly. Paying a club, buying a club for 2.7 billion US dollars, £3 billion, you are not going to see any money back on that football club for a long time unless you invest. So you have to invest to get money back on that football club. So I wouldn't worry about it, guys. That I wouldn't worry about it, even if it's an American ownership again, because they have to invest. Look, Chelsea almost spent 300 million or whatever it was in the summer. You know, they spent a lot of money to invest because Bowley needs to see instant investment into the team because he needs to get his money back. And his consortium, remember, he's doing it with a consortium. So him and his consortium want to see their money back. They don't want 2.7 billion wasted. So they need to invest to make Chelsea better. So that's why they spent money. Remember, but what Chelsea did, they spent money wrong, you know? They spent money completely wrong. You know, I think we're spending money a bit more wisely in Chelsea. I think they were just looking at, you know, their owner came in and just wanted these sort of talents. You know, didn't matter what the manager said. A bit different at Liverpool. Liverpool got a better infrastructure at their club, got Jurgen Klopp in charge. So anyone who comes in will have to invest. So I won't worry about it too much, guys. I really wouldn't. I'm not worried at the moment because it's so much money. It's so much money. I mean, you invest that much money into a football club, you need to see it back quite quickly. And Liverpool aren't going to make money if they're not winning. The only reason Liverpool are now putting up massive revenue costs is because they've been successful on and off the pitch. So the revenue costs are going up. If Liverpool are not successful anymore, the revenue costs are going to go down, which means whoever takes over Liverpool Football Club are not going to see money back on their investment. So, you know, that's why I'm not too worried, guys. It's a lot of money someone's got to put up. It's a lot of money. My only concern if it's a leverage buyout. No, I mean, I think it'll be an American group with a consortium that buy the club. And then it depends who the consortium is. Because remember, we don't know who Chelsea's consortium is. You know, that's why they was able to spend so much money, because the consortium wanted money back on their investment. So I won't worry. I think money will come back into the club, investment will come back into the club, and we'll keep moving. I'm not too concerned right now about it all. What are you guys in the chat saying? Chaos is saying, good evening, Jamie and chat and folks. I'm like a little kid at Christmas, to be honest. It's how far. Can't wait to see who takes over in Klopp by LFC. I trust. Big up, Chaos. Derek says, why would Liverpool give the incoming owners an expensive gift if they're selling the whole shebang? Don't think we'll get anyone unless we invest rather than sell. Just hell up. Big up, Bads. How you doing, mate? David says, Arabs, please, ruler of Dubai, UAE. What's everyone saying? Jody says, I do hope they sell before Jan so we can spend as soon as the window's open, and hope we go for players who suit our style of play, smart business. Yeah, exactly, Jody, exactly. What's everyone saying? I think something happens towards the end of the Dubai trip, maybe. Let's get taken over by American government or the Federal Reserve, then we're balling. Trude and I have Sky News on my telly, I'm aware. Newcastle bought by government, that they were. Do you think the spirit of Shankly have influenced FSG's decision, Jamie, not to sell to Middle Eastern owners? I think I think they have a little bit. I think the spirit of Shankly, I think a lot. I think a lot, actually. Look, I think FSG are listening to a lot of people and who they should sell the club to and how they want the Liverpool left behind. Now, David Ornstein came out on, was it Sunday on Sky Sports News and said that, as far as he's aware, FSG want to sell to the right people that keep Liverpool going. You know, they don't want to sell to somebody that, like another American or something like that, like a Hicks or Gillette, that haven't got the money, that can't invest into the football club. So if that's the case, I'm happy with that. But I just don't know. I don't know. I mean, if that's the case, then FSG are doing the right thing in selling to, at least they go sell to somebody who they know will make investment into the football club and bring the club forward. That's a good thing on their behalf. If they do that, I think everyone would be like, well, okay, fair enough. Fair enough. But if they just sell the club to somebody who can't really afford to buy the club and they have to take loans out to buy the club, or that'd be a worry, because then they can't really invest in the club. And what's the point? That's why I'm not worried about. I know everyone's worried about that Petaluga, is it, or whatever his name is. I won't worry about it. His whole worth is less than what Liverpool Football Club are being sold for. So he'd have to have a massive. He'd have to have. He wouldn't be able to afford to take over the club, and then he wouldn't be able to invest in the club. That's the thing as well, guys. What we got to remember of all this, it's about investing in the football club. See, FSG bought Liverpool for 300 million. They're going to sell it for 3 billion. Yeah? They put investment in the club and they got the club's net worth right up, right? Whoever the new owner's going to be is going to buy a club for 3 billion, which means they have to invest to see any money back. You know, I don't care how rich you are. People need to see their investment is for what it is. And I know people will say, the Sheikh Mansour at Man City doesn't care about profits and all that. You know, it's not about that. Well, if that's the case, why have they tried everything in their power to have the number one revenue in all of football in all over the world? You know, if profits weren't a matter to them and they didn't want to see money back on their investment, why would they worry about all that sort of thing? It's just a myth, guys, that people ain't worried about profit. I don't care how rich you are. You invest a lot of money into something that people want to see money back on their investment. You know, so the only way for Liverpool to have money back in their investment is if you spend. You have to spend. Liverpool start winning things again, then whoever the owners are or whoever they are going to see money back in their investment. Simple as that, guys. So I'm not too worried. No, he's not. He went in for us anyway. It's got to be an American group, guys. Don't worry about all this state ownership or Dubai or anything. It's not going to be that. FSG going to sell to an American group. And as long as they got the money to invest, I don't really care. Do you reckon Chelsea care that Bowley's their owner right now? He invested almost 300 million in the summer or whatever it was, 250 million. Yeah, they spent it on the wrong people, but he still invested. Liverpool won't. I don't think Liverpool will do that because the infrastructure at Liverpool's a little bit better. So I think Liverpool, and you got Jurgen Klopp there, you know, I wouldn't see a problem there. Barcelona can go and do one, says Graham. Big up to you, Graham. Big up Jay and everyone else in the chat. Big up to you, Andrew. There are different grades of ethics, though. Yeah, I mean, look, the ethics thing, I get what everyone's saying about, you know, like, don't want to be state-owned and all that. I don't really want to be state-owned because of the ethics, moral fibre, you know, sort of thing, the human rights crisis out there and all that. That's fair enough, but I can't then say that it's not same in the Western world at the same time. Do you know what I mean? Look at Great Britain. Great Britain colonised how many countries around the world? You know what I mean? We still got it now. We've got a Commonwealth. You know, under one ruler, you know. So it's a bit hypocritical, I suppose, to say that. I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't want to get all political. You know what I mean? Don't want to really get all political about all that sort of stuff. But yeah. Only a certain level of status and wealth will be able to buy and invest in our club, so I don't pay attention to them. Oh, yeah, he ain't got the money. He ain't got the money. In this crazy world, there are some super rich people that are bang up for you for buying us. FSG on a 300 million investment turns into 3.5 billion. Not bad work for that, is it? No, exactly. I mean, look, FSG are good at their job. You know what I mean? They might not be great investors into a football team, but they're good at their job. I have a feeling that it will be the Microsoft guy as an individual buyer. Yeah, he's the one. He's the one we all want. He's the one that I think has got the most rumor going about him right now. And he invests, man. He invests hundreds and hundreds of millions into everything he does of his own money. So that'd be the one. Steve Ballmer, is it? Or Ballmer? I can't remember his name. He'd be the one I thought we would go with. Most definitely most definite. Agree, Jay. I think that's what all the fans are afraid of. If everything is run the same way under another Sultan's undership, my concern as well. Let Hulk Hogan buy the club if LFC are America. If anyone was serious about human rights, nobody would be going World Cup. Yeah, exactly. I've got a tenner to buy Liverpool. Is that enough? We're all complicit in the matrix in a way. Why do our clothes come from? Where does the food come from? Where does the car? Yeah, this is so true, man. It is so true. No, not Gates. We know that kind of injection. Oh God. Careful what you wish for, as they say. Yeah, I mean, big up to you, Bill Gates. No, you don't mean Bill Gates. Big up Goat Science. No, I think it means Steve Ballmer. He helped create Microsoft with Bill Gates. That's why he's one of the richest men in the world. Yeah, let's get the likes up, people. Let's get the likes up. Come on, guys. 84 people in here, 51 likes. Let's get them likes up, guys. Let's get 80 likes for 80 people. Simple as that. So if you've not pressed the fun button yet, go and press it. It's free to do. Press that fun button. Let's get the likes up. It helps out the channel grow more than you realise, guys. Helps the channel grow massively. So I would be very, very thankful if you could do that for me. Former is a non-entity. No, Gates, the other guy. Elon Musk is that Amazon madman, goes to Mars, spending cash like a drunk teenager on spring break. FSG will sell to the highest bidder. They don't give a shit. Get them gone. I don't know about that, man. I don't know about that. The rumor is they're willing to bring down the price to 2.7 billion US dollars, same as Chelsea Football Club. When Forbes has Liverpool rated at 4.3 billion. So they're willing to accept at 3 billion English pounds, 2.7 billion US dollar. I mean, tells you saying they want a quick sale. That's what it tells me. Chinese investors, there's Derek. I'm telling you, it's got to be American, guys. No Bill Gates, no Musk, none of them egomaniacs. Let's go get them now, then, boys. Big up Goat Science. Yeah, hit the lights, guys. Hit the lights. Big up Chaos. Big up to you, my friend. Let's talk about Let's get off that little bit. Let's talk about Firmino. Not Firmino. Yeah, let's talk about Firmino first. Let's talk about Bobby Firmino. Right. Bobby Firmino. What are we talking about here? In the chat, do you think Bobby Firmino is worth a new contract? So apparently there's a lot of talks at the moment that he might get a new deal. Let me, guys, in the chat, let me know what you think about this, because he is coming at the end of his contract. So negotiations are underway between Roberto Firmino and Liverpool FC, and it's going well. Bobby is happy to extend and stay with the club and has a perfect relationship with Jurgen Klopp. That is what is being said as of tonight. Let me know what you think, guys, about Bobby staying at Liverpool Football Club. Very interested to see what you guys say about Bobby. So, look, Liverpool Football Club desperately need to sort out their midfield. We know this. That is an issue. It's a problem for us. Our midfield area is shite. It's crap. It needs work. We none of us can pretend it don't. We all know it does. Now, we're letting Bobby leave this summer and then needing to find a new forward along with buying midfielders. Would that actually be a good idea, or would it be an actually better idea to keep Bobby, who's in form this season? He's doing bits. Let's be fair to Bobby. Bobby's doing bits. Would it be fair to keep him and give him like a 2-year deal? Because I think that's all it's going to be, a 2-year deal. And then have more room in our squad to go and pick up new central midfielders. Because if you think about it, what's Bobby going to be in a pecking order, you know? You got Suarez, you got Salah there, you got Luis Diaz there, you got Darwin Nunez, you got Jota, you got Bobby Firmino, you got Carvalho, and you got Elliott who can possibly play the forward role. Bobby Firmino this season, though, has still been decent for me, guys. He's like the glue that's keeping everything together. He's still the system. Watch how he plays. You know, especially that Tottenham game, how he comes deep and opens up gaps still. He doesn't actually have to do anything amazing on the ball. It's what he does off the ball. It's what he does off the ball that's important to Bobby Firmino and the way we play. He still opens up gaps. He's still part of the system. I don't know. What is everyone saying in the chat? Let me know in the chat, guys, what you're all saying about Bobby, because it should be an interesting chat. Where are we starting here? Where are we starting? Loads of you in the chat. Big up to everyone in the chat. New Jill just for his bloody team. 1 year with a possibility of another. Squad player says David. Great news says Derek. He's a good option says Katie. Jamie, I think says Daz. A 2-year contract as a squad player at a lower wage. Yeah, that's a good ranging point. That's a good idea. Yes, he deserves a new contract. He has proven his worth. Tooley says only if he does not stop us getting another right winger for Mo cover. Bobby's teeth are worth at least a couple of years. Contract extension, stay as a rotation just to keep the levels of competition healthy. Keep Darwin and Jota on their toes. Big up Jody. Is there anyone watching I'm a Celeb? I ain't watching that program with thingy in it. In no way. If Matt Hancock's still on I'm a Celebrity, why is anyone watching it? That man was the reason a lot of people died. Not too fast as long as we get another forward option like Gakpo. I hope so. I do love Bobby, to be honest, it's chaos. Bobby should get a 2-year deal extension at reduced terms. We're good for forwards. It's midfielders we need. Liverpool should take a punt on Maddison. Ben Doak in. Defo keep him in the squad option. He'll take us to the Origi role. Big up is Dylan Clue. Big up to you. 2-year deal is right what I'd say. Big up Egyptian King. How you doing, my friend? Big up Trudon. Big up everyone in the house. Firmino will be gone next summer. Ooh. So here's the thing with Bobby. If he doesn't sign, I think they want him to get his deal signed before January. Because remember, if Bobby don't sign his deal before January, he can talk to other clubs around Europe now and leave for a free in the summer and sign a pre-contract agreement with any club in Europe in January. Now, we don't want Bobby Firmino at Liverpool already signed a pre-contract agreement to go somewhere else. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, that would be heartbreaking. So I think I personally think he'll sign a new deal while the World Cup's on. Now Bobby's not going to the World Cup. I think it's easy to just get this deal sorted. I think they will give him a good deal. And what is wrong with Bobby being a squad player anyway? In reality, what is wrong with Bobby being a squad player? Guys, there's 105 people in the house. Please hit the like button. We're on 60 likes almost. Let's get the likes up, guys. Press that thumb right underneath the video right now. Let's get them likes going up. It really helps out the channel, guys. The more likes on the video, set YouTube and the algorithm pushes my videos out to more people. There'll be a lot of people that have never seen my channel before. So, yeah, go and hit that like button, guys. Get the algorithm moving. If you're on your phone or your tablet, take your finger over and press that fun button once, and that'll leave a lovely like on the video. So if you've entered this video and you just started watching, make sure you hit the like button, guys. I'd appreciate it. Thank you very much. Good to keep him round, says Katie. He can push and keep others on their toes, knowing he's there to take their spot if they slip up. Healthy competition calls he's one of the best in his position. Keep the Bobby proper pro. Yeah, definitely. Bobby should stay. Bobby out. Keep his dentist. Well said, Jamie. Big up Chaos. Nary is a squad player. Think Ox and Kate are leaving Jan. I think Kate will, yeah. And Ox, maybe. Joke having that guy on. Ox out. Keep Bobby because his teeth will save us money on electricity. He just cater out. I love how we've gone the cater out. We're chatting about it and got cater out. Here's Cav. He's just finished watching Basic Instinct with the wife and he's ready to go.
It wasn't Basic Instinct, just to clear that up.
Do you know the first time I ever watched that film was with my mum?
Mate, that is not
I didn't know
a film you want.
She didn't know what it was. So she just put the film on. And then everyone knows the opening scene. I was like, oh my God, this is so awkward.
Just carefully placed percussions, Jay. That's what.
That's it. No, I needed a quilt. Oh, but how are you anyway?
Yeah, I'm doing sweet. How are you, mate? You good?
Yeah, I'm all right. I can't complain too much. It's been a bit shitty today. I ain't had the best of days, I will admit, but kids have been a nightmare all day. Personal stuff. The wife hates me. All that sort of thing. Oh, Cav's disappeared. Just like that. Cav's left me as well. Everyone's leaving me. Was Kate ever in? No, Kate was Kate ever in. Kate has only had 9 good months in 5 years. Think that through. Kate has had 9 months in 5 years of playing football.
I don't know what happened there. Sorry, Jay.
Yeah, it's just what we're catering. Yeah, so big up, Ram. How you doing, mate? Hope you're doing well, my friend. Hope you're doing well. So yeah, we're just talking about. So obviously we're going to come up to the Fabinho stuff in a minute. Yeah, we're just talking about Bobby. New contract looks like it's up and ready for him to sign. It's so basically they're saying the negotiations are underway with Bobby Firmino and Liverpool, and it's apparently going well. And Bobby is happy to extend his stay with the club and has a perfect relationship with Jurgen Klopp. Your thoughts on Bobby?
Well, the last part's definitely true, isn't it? It's got a great relationship with Klopp. Yeah, look, I don't mind him staying. I think I've been on record to say like his performances are a bit inconsistent. When he's good, he's great, but when he's bad, he's really bad. But he's good for the squad, the harmony. You know, there's a bit of a group within the overall group between like himself, Fabinho, Ali, and what have you. And yeah, I think he's just good for the squad. He's good for the camp. He's good in and around training. You know, he's a very, very good professional. You know, up until last year, kept himself really fit, even though he's probably been the most ran down player in the Klopp era. I know he was here before Klopp, but he's done no end of running and what have you. So as a professional, he's fantastic. But the only but for me is him staying gonna affect what we bring in? Because if it does, then I'm a little bit against it. You know, because if him staying and taking a salary, and if he stays on what he's on at the minute, I think he's in like that. What is he on? 180k or something like that a week?
About that. So he's either going to take reduced terms or stay where he's at, because I don't see him going up in wages.
Yeah, and I just think, look, we don't know what's gonna happen with the owners, but let's assume that nothing changes. The wage budget's already really high, one of the highest in the league. Um, and will it hinder what players we get in? If it does, then I'm not sure if it's a great deal, but if it doesn't, great. Yeah, of course you want him around the squad for all the things I've just mentioned. So yeah, I'm happy for him, and like I'm happy that he's staying, but I need to know what the terms are and what like the knock-on impact is. Because like I say, if there's no knock-on impact, whether he takes reduced wages or you know he stays on what he's on, but that means he's going to accept sort of less playing time and his place in the squad, and it doesn't impact on players, that we bring in the next couple of windows, then yeah, great, I'm all for it. But if we get to like January and we're like, oh, missing out on this player because we can't afford the wage and this and that, then I'm a bit like, well, there's a man there that's on 180 grand a week that's really inconsistent. I'm not too sure, but there's going to be players leaving this squad, Naby, Ox, maybe Milner and others. So there will be some wages being freed up in that sense. But yeah, I mean, look, I'm happy he's staying. I'll be honest. I'm happy. I'm happy if he does stay. I mean, nothing's confirmed, but I need to see, like I say, I need to see what the knock-on impact is. And if it affects other transfer business, then I'm a bit like, I'm not sure that's a great idea. But
well, that was my thing with the whole Bobby thing. So let me just give these stats out a minute. So these are Bobby's stats at Liverpool Football Club. So let's see if you can all see it. Can you all see that all right? So if you look at his stats, these are the matches he's played. This is just Premier League, by the way, just Premier League. Now, we have 30 games in a Premier League season. If you look at the games, he plays a lot of matches.
Did he play every single game in 2019?
Yeah, every single game.
Jesus Christ. That is ridiculous. And the season before, he only missed 2. And only missed 4.
Missed the 4 the season before and only 2 the season after. And then last season's when he had his bad injury. He only played 20 games. But he still had 9 GA that season in 20 games.
17. So from 2017 to the end of 2021 season, he played almost every single league game. Wow.
Yeah. So his injuries have never been a thing for Bobby. Injuries have never. It was only really last season, and he played 20 games still last season. He's played 13 already this season, and he's got 7 goals and 3 assists.
Yeah,
more than
was it last season? He didn't get a goal at Anfield until it the last day.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I mean that's the thing. Last season he was hit with injuries, but he still managed to play 20 league games. That's not bad for somebody that's not your first choice striker, because I think most of us would accept that Jota last season's probably first choice. Well, Mane was there, sorry, and then it would probably been Jota, and then Firmino is probably third choice if you had to do a list. So that's not bad. That's still not a bad return in what he would consider an injury-plagued season.
Yeah, exactly. Like 9 GA in an injury-plagued season. He's got 7 goals and 3 assists already this season. I mean, and he's played 13 Premier League games. 36 the year before, 9 goals, 7 assists. 19-20, obviously played every game, 9 goals, 8 assists. The season before, 12 and 6, 15 and 7, 11 and 7, and 10 and 7. So that's what I'm saying. Do you keep, like, when you look at it, can you afford to lose him? And this is his Champions League. This is his Champions League time with Liverpool. Look at the 17-18. He played 15 games and scored 11 goals in the Champions League. This season, he scored 2 goals in 6 games. The season before that, he actually scored 5 goals in 7 Champions League games. Should we lose Bobby?
Well,
or by them stats, we go, that's a good squad player.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I'm not just going off his personality and what we see of Bobby, and the fact that he's such a sort of happy-go-lucky guy, never is, you never hear of anything bad about Bobby off the pitch or having his agent coming out or anything like that. You don't hear of anything around him like that. He's been such a professional servant to the club. If he understands his place in this squad, which is probably like a second, third choice option, maybe come in for the cup games, and then if there's injuries he plays, or maybe the odd game here and there. Yeah, them stats you couldn't argue with, could you? Like, who's got a better sort of third choice striker than that? I mean, some people might even have him in their starting 11. I'm just reflecting what my thoughts are, but you know, yeah, you go off them stats alone, and he is got a return, hasn't he? And that thing is, that's never what we've been judging him on, either, is it? It's never been judged on his goals or assists. It's always been about how he can bring others into play. So, you know, maybe he's moving away from a player that's just a bit of a link man and actually becoming somebody that just gets in the box and tucks away the odd goal. Maybe he's lost that side of his game, but he's gaining something else. I don't know.
Well, I was thinking that, and then I went and watched his. I watched Liverpool TV the other day, and they were doing a thing on Bobby, and he's still playing exactly the same way as he's done. Like they were getting where we score goals now, because what we're doing at the moment, we're going down the left side of the pitch more this season than the right, especially since Robbo and Nunez have been playing on the left hand side the last few games. And where Robbo and Darwin are playing on that left hand side, and Thiago's on the left hand side of the midfield three. Bobby coming deep, right? Bobby affects the game even when he's not touching the ball, because what they're showing is when he comes deep, Darwin comes inside a little bit. Because Darwin comes inside a little bit, Robbo's got a lot of room to run into on that left-hand side. Then you've got Thiago's on that left-hand side of the midfield where he can get hold of the ball and do his thing. Then that leaves Mo with lots of space. It's not a coincidence, since Bobby and Darwin and Mo have been playing with each other, Darwin's performances are better. Mo's performances are better. There is something to it. I think we're still at this moment in time that, still looking at it, that Bobby is still the system.
Yeah, you definitely could be right in that. Last game was a good example of that. Like as you've just described, he sort of drops in and leaves the space in that centre forward position vacant, and then either Nunez or Salah gets in there, becomes a bit more central. Like you say, if that's moving defenders around, you've then got space for fullbacks, but that's all well and good. I think part of my criticism has been for Bobby this season is just that when he's dropping deep, it's what he then does. Against Southampton, he obviously picked the ball up, slid a pass into Robertson, who then crossed it for Nunez. And it was a brilliant worked Liverpool goal, I would call it, because how many times we've seen that kind of pattern. But there's also been games where he drops into that space and he's just kind of in the way. If he's not giving it away, he's just running into our own players. He's picking up the ball in an area that Thiago's got it. And it's like, you don't need to be there. Thiago's perfectly fine at doing what you're coming to do in that space. And sort of usually the sort of center of the pitch, if you like, more on the left-hand side of the center. So it needs... Yeah, and this is the thing. Like, if Bobby just had a game where it's a bit like, okay, yeah, it's not quite worked for him today, that's fine. And then he throws up these good games. You're like, yeah, Sam. But my trouble is when he has a bad game, it's a real hindrance to the side, because he drops into areas that just becomes a problem for the rest of the team. And if he's giving the ball away in these dangerous areas, it's like a real problem. So I don't know. It's a tough one, because, like I say, when he's good, you look at him and go, it doesn't matter if you got Jota or Nunez or whoever. Like, no one can do what he does, and if he's bringing everybody else into play, like, he is the system, like he's pivotal. But if he's throwing up a stinker, you really can tell, because people are still looking to him to sort of feed the ball into. They're giving the ball in when he drops deep or in that centre forward position, and he just gives it away again, and everything breaks down, and suddenly you're being counter attacked on, and your midfield's being ran out and all this and that. So it's a tough one. I mean, if you just don't know what the thing is, that when you see Bobby's on the team sheet, you just don't know what Bobby you're getting. That's the trouble.
It's the thing. And look, I think someone made a comment here. Where was it? Yeah, Aaron. So it was basically what Mane used to do when he had pace on left. So I've been saying this last couple of games. When Darwin, Bobby, and Salah are played, it sort of does remind me of Mane, Bobby, and Salah, because Darwin's got that ridiculous pace. He's probably the quickest player in the Premier League, and he is so direct, a bit like Mane was. Direct, quick, eye for goal. And Darwin's very similar. Now, I'm not comparing, where everyone gets in the chat and goes mental, I am not comparing Darwin to Mane, obviously. But they do have very similar traits. Very, very similar traits to their game. And that three, I've always said it, Salah, Mane and Bobby were probably the best threesome in attack in Europe at the time. Maybe not individually as players, but as a threesome, what they did on the pitch was as good as anything I've seen. And the last two games, that's been the three up top. And, you know, they've arguably been our best two games. I know the Tottenham game in the second half, we didn't play so well, but the first half was a really good performance. And then I thought it was a good attack performance against Southampton, especially with them three up top. And it was a bit more old Liverpool style. So when you look at it like that and you think, yeah, maybe we do keep Bobby, you know, that system seems to work at the moment. And then you got Luis Diaz coming back. He's fit now. He's in training. So you got Luis Diaz. He's going to be fit. Jota, well, they're hoping he's fit after the World Cup. So there's players there as well. I just think, I look at Bobby and think, the numbers he's pulling up this season, that's squad. He's a squad player still. Even this season, he's only really playing at the moment because everyone else is injured. But he's still a squad player, and he's pulling up these stats. And I just feel like if we go get rid of him, then you're going to have to buy a striker. There's no doubt about it, because you're going to let him go for free. So you're going to have to buy a striker, plus you're still going to have to buy midfielders.
Yeah. And I think as well, looking ahead, like to next season, if we've got Salah, Nunez, Diaz, and Jota as our forward options, I actually think you still need a bit of a player that, you know, comes in and sacrifices himself for the others. You know, doesn't always have to drop deep, but does a bit of a look. When Firmino's good, he pulls in the other two forwards, doesn't he? He links it all together. A bit what Jesus is doing at Arsenal at the minute, similar kind of role. But the trouble is, there's not that many of them players out there, so you might just have to keep Bobby just in case, because like you could let Bobby go in the summer and then you go into next season and you start off with Diaz and Nunez and Salah, and it just doesn't work because they're all just trying to play, and their game isn't quite, you know, on the same wavelength. They're not necessarily fluid, whereas Bobby's sacrificing himself and receiving the ball and picking his head up and spreading it and leaving space, as we've just described. That really helps the others. So you might be more reliant on him than you think. You know, obviously we'll see the way this season goes, but I think when Diaz comes back, I think you'll start to realize whether Diaz, Nunez, and Salah will work. If it does work, then you'll be fine, because Jota can come in and do the role of Diaz. He can come in and do the role of Nunez if he has to. There's not too much change there. But I think with them type of forwards, I think you might actually need somebody like Bobby in there just to pull it all together. And if you let him go, you know, it might be too late before you realize it, you know, and then he's gone. So you might just have to keep hold of him for at least a season just to see, you know, like we're experiencing now. I know Diaz is injured, but, you know, if we've seen our better performance, I would say, when you've seen the front, you know, Nunez on the left, Bobby in the 9, and Salah on the right, you know. And maybe it's just because it's gone back to what we used to, you know, what the system we were successful in. It's like muscle memories kicking in, you know, with like not just the forwards, but like even like Trent and Robertson and stuff. Like they're picking their head up and they're seeing forwards in positions that they're used to seeing, as opposed to seeing, you know, Diaz really high and left and Jota that just roams around everywhere. And Nunez, when he's a centre forward, well, he's completely new to them, obviously, but he's a bit running off the left, running off the right, coming deep at times, you know. They're still trying to figure it all out. But whilst you're figuring it all out, you're dropping points. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, you have. I can see why Klopp went back to the 4-3-3 and stuck Bobby back in there, because it's just familiarity, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know,
the only one I think that can do the Bobby job is probably Jota. And that's probably the only one. I think I just saw a comment. Does when Aaron says when everyone's fit, does Darwin stay on the left? Now, at this moment in time, look, this is why I said Darwin is very similar to Mane. Not because they're the same player or he's as good as Mane or anything like that, but he plays in such a similar way in that front three. You know, Mane was the one out of all of them that you always said, oh, you didn't know what Mane was going to do. Like, Mane didn't even know what he was going to do. He was such an instinct player, weren't he? And they're quite similar in their way. They're very, as I said, they're very quick. They're very direct. You know, they've only got one thing in their mind, and that's trying to get a goal, helping someone to get a goal. And they're always forward thinking. Now with Diaz is your more natural winger. He will hug the touchline. You know, he will get chalk on his boots. He's more natural at that. That's his more natural game. Where I just don't know. I don't know at the moment if Darwin, Salah, and Diaz works. Because if Darwin plays through in the middle, Darwin likes to drift wide. You only have to look at Darwin's heat maps from Benfica and Liverpool. Every time, most of his stuff is out left. You know, he'd rather be out left than come inside, a bit like Mane did. You know, and then with Diaz likes to stay out left. He's a more traditional winger. He likes to do his work out in wide areas and then cut in and try and get crosses in and shots in, or play 1-2s. Where Darwin is like more of that inside forward, like Mane is. Very direct, but one thing in mind, sees a goal when he's going for it. If you play Darwin with Diaz, they're going to be in each other's way. So at this moment,
I agree.
I agree. I don't think Darwin can be dropped. Why would you?
No.
At this moment in time, he's worth his place on the left-hand side.
Yeah, because a guy that gets goals and gets assists, you can't replace. Do you know what I mean? Like, no. I know Diaz has contributed, but and his overall game's probably better. But at the end of the game, you know, when your striker's got a couple and you've gone on to win, I'd rather have that. Do you know what I mean? As opposed to somebody that just looked good for 90 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Look, what have we all been saying about Diaz since he's been a Liverpool player?
Not sure about his output.
Yeah, exactly. Looks great on the ball. He's tremendous. He's a threat. Defenders hate him because, look, he's going to go past people at will. He's got great dribble. He's a better dribbler and better on the ball than Darwin. There's no doubt about that. But Darwin's more effective at this moment in time. And I think that's what we need. And I don't think we should be messing around with it.
I think Diaz has been his most prolific when we've actually been losing games, and he just kind of
rough by the neck.
He just takes the shackles off and he just does his own thing, you know. And it's usually that cut in, trying to create an opening for a shot. And you know, he got one against Napoli, got one against Palace, Spurs last season. You know, that similar style of goal where he's trying to fashion his own chances. But in terms of his involvement with the everything that Diaz does that's good, he does himself. It's never really part of the team. Whereas Nunez, I feel like he just fits into the team a whole lot better. And if you think about it, like I can see the similarity between Nunez and Mane because they both start out on the left and they both want to come inside. They both want to get across the fullback and the centre back to get into the centre of the box. And I just feel like for the likes of Trent and Salah and maybe Elliott now, I feel like they naturally, when they pick the ball up and they lift their head, that's kind of just where they're used to seeing players be. They just used to seeing Mane make that run across the defender so often. I'm talking about when the ball's central or on the right-hand side. If it's on the left, it's a bit different because naturally the left-sided winger will be on the left. But I just feel like we've seen that goal so many times where Trent sort of picked the ball up and he's just put it over the centre-back's head and you've got the left winger cutting across. And I just don't feel like Diaz does that. So instantly, then Trent's sort of like not making that pass. He's thinking about the next option, or he's checking back and playing it inside, or playing it backwards, or choosing different options. If you can play if you understand each other's game as well as the team used to, you just do things off instinct, and then that's where like tempo comes, and that's where like chances come, because you're just doing stuff so quick. And I feel like when Nunez is playing as opposed to Diaz, they're able to do that more. Whereas when Diaz is playing, Trent will sort of pick his head up in the right back position, having just won the ball, expecting a man to be making a run across. He kind of knows what run Salah's going to be making. And then he's looking at the centre forward that Bobby's probably dropped in the midfield. And then he's thinking that, Nunez, whereas used to be Mane, is going to make that run into the box from the left. And Diaz doesn't do it. So then what he's doing is he's like not seeing the run. So he's checking and he's making a different option, and that makes you less effective in attack, I think. But there's nothing to say that Nunez, Diaz, and Salah won't work, because they're all amazing forwards in their own right.
I think that's got to be the three eventually. I think that's got to be the three. I think that we bought Diaz for a reason. We bought Darwin for a reason, and Mo's got a new contract, so he ain't going nowhere. So them three, I think, on paper, that's dangerous. No, I mean, and I think eventually they will play that way. But for this season at the moment, I just feel like we're on a bit of a thing at the moment with Darwin, Bobby, and Salah, and we're not playing well as a team. We've had moments, and they're kicking. There's something there with them three at the moment. So, do we go and mess with that at the moment, or do we just leave it this season and let them carry on and try and mould something for next season where Diaz is more of the team, more on the left-hand side? But then we've got Jota as well. This is the thing.
Yeah.
The area of the pitch that we have got good squad depth is the forward line. And we have got like players there that can come in and out and do jobs. So
we've got the players. We just got to figure it out, haven't we? That's the thing. I think at the minute though, like obviously when we come back off the break, if everybody, Nunez comes back healthy, and look, Salah and Firmino stay fit, return of Diaz, I think Jota's going to be a while yet, even at that point. I think you just stick with Bobby in the 9. It seems to have looked better over the past few games. I think just stick with it. And, you have to start Nunez on the left, and then Diaz, give him a bit more time to get fully fit. Don't take any chances on his injury or anything like that. And then maybe just
come back. He's got time to come. You don't have to be rushed.
Yeah,
how many times we rush players back? So now we don't really need to rush Diaz back. He can come back slowly, take his time, work his way into the team. I think Angel, we're not being negative towards Diaz at all. What we're saying right now is that this front three at the moment just sort of works. So let it be for a while, and then Diaz can come into the team when he's ready.
I mean, we love Diaz. It obviously goes without saying. He's been, since he's come into the club, one of the shining lights in this squad. No end of games, especially this season, we've looked so blunt in our attack, and you've just been crying out for Diaz to get hold of the ball, because he's been the one guy you feel like can make something happen. So look, he's been crucial, but like what we're just trying to say is, as good as he is as an individual, I think Nunez just works better in the 11. And
right now he does. Yeah, I mean, but this is a good thing. Darwin's having a poor game, Diaz comes in. Simple as that. If Bobby's having a poor game, put Darwin through the middle, Diaz on the left. It did work well against Arsenal as well. I will say they two worked well together. So there is something there. I do like the interchanging when they all three do play, a bit like Liverpool used to do. Kill my kid. Can you hear him banging on the door? Madly. I'm happy with anything like that. You know what I mean? I think.
But just going back to him, Jay. Are you happy that Bobby's getting might be getting the contract?
I'd give him one. I did sound right, did it? Okay. I'd give him a new contract. I'd give him one. I'd give him a new contract. Yeah, because for the point of it, as them stats shows, as a squad player, perfectly fine. You get rid of him, then we're going to have to replace him when we still need to replace other areas of our pitch. So while he's in good form and he's playing well, he's not a hindrance to the team. So give him a new contract where the other areas of the pitch need sorting. So financially and sensibly, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Unless the new owners come fresh in at the door and just go, here's 500 mil, do what you want. then you got like it's a different story. But right now in the setup we've got right now at Liverpool Football Club, still under FSG. Because remember, this sale could take a year from now. Yeah, a quick sale can take 6 months to a year. This could go on for a while. So if it is going to go on for a while, and we're under the same ownership as we are right now, give Bobby the new deal and get the midfielders in we need. That's how I'd see it. But Bobby's new deal is not going to be anything massive. It's probably going to be a 2-year deal. It's either going to be the same wages or take a less deal. And the thing is with Bobby, I don't think he wants to go anywhere either.
Yeah, he seems. I mean, from what we do see, I think he looks dead happy, doesn't he? Like, I mean, unless you can think of a time, Jamie, I genuinely can't recall one time where he's been anything but gold to us. Do you know what I mean? Like, when has he ever kicked up a fuss or moaned about a contract or agents come out or done anything? I know he has these, strange. He goes to these strange parties and gigs and all you see is him playing piano in his house, and he's around his family or he's around with Ali and Fabinho and stuff. He's all the photos. He's smiling. He's getting along with the squad. I mean, it's invaluable, really. That, to be honest.
Helia, big up to you. Liverpool are said to be interested in Swiss striker Okafor from Salzburg. This is reported by Sky Germany. Yeah, Florian Plettenberg. I saw this. Now, this could be. He can play on the right side as well. Because everyone's saying we need a Salah backup like 6 times just there. That could be the perfect place. That could be the perfect one. Would you guys try and sign Mason Mount? Not sure.
I would.
He's a decent player. He can get goals from midfield. Chelsea hate him for some reason. I don't know why.
He's not had the best season, but he's a very good player.
Yeah. I just don't know where he plays. This is the problem.
I think that's the problem Chelsea have got with him as well, amongst other issues.
He can't play in the midfield 3, and I don't know where he play. Unless you play him on the right-hand side as Mo's. I'm not sure. I don't think it's good enough playing midfield.
I like him. I like him as a player. I think Chelsea have got a lot of issues this season with Potter coming in, and obviously the signings they made weren't necessarily Potter's signings. They were Bowley's, with his lack of probably football knowledge and what have you, just signing names as opposed to players for a system. Jota's trying to figure out a system, trying to figure out his best 11. It all looks a bit mixed, doesn't it? Nothing's quite working at the minute, and I just feel like Mount's suffering because of all of that. But I do think he's a very good player. He's just work rate, energy, neat, tidy, passing, can get a goal. I think he's great. But to be honest, I don't think you could get him out of Chelsea because he is a Chelsea lad, isn't he?
Yeah,
so.
He's a London boy as well, and London. A lot of London-based players don't particularly always want to move north either. So,
I think if we played the 4-3-3, I think maybe I think you probably have him in the 8, and then he would play in 4 positions if you needed to rotate.
Yeah,
I think he's got that sort of versatility in his game. So it'd be a good option.
Your internet just moved mad.
Mine?
Yeah, you're a bit blurry, but you're all right now. Yeah, you turned into a Dalek for about 30 seconds there. Yeah, I mean, man, it does look disinterested. Everyone looks disinterested at Chelsea. Even Potter was like, I wish I never left. But it's like, nah, yeah, I mean, look, there's massive things on Declan Rice. Liverpool want Declan Rice, which I think is actually something that can happen. I've been saying it for a while now. I think Liverpool go buy a midfielder in January, but I think it's going to be from the Premier League. I just think it's going to be Declan Rice. I don't know why. I just got this feeling that Liverpool go buy Declan Rice. He's got a year left on his deal as well. And when you got I know that West Ham want ridiculous money for him. Ain't going to happen when he's got a year left in his deal because Declan Rice will hold all the cards. And if he knows like a Liverpool coming in for him or a Chelsea coming in for him or a Man United are coming in for him, he's just going to go, well, you either sell me or I just leave for free because I ain't signing a new deal. Especially if he knows them clubs are coming in for him. So, Declan, Declan Rice one, I think could happen, you know. And if you look at the way he plays, very what Klopp wants in his midfield. He knows the Premier League already. He'll probably be quite suited to the system Klopp plays. So I think it'd be pretty easy just to slot him straight in, especially as Hendo or Fabinho's replacement. You know what I mean? I think that'd be a one to do.
Do you think? Big up, G. Hi, mate. Do you think? Because I've been thinking about this Rice thing because that's been the rumor circling for a few days now. Do you think? I think he's a very good player. I think defensively he's so solid and he's such a good player in that six. But do you think a large part of it's been because of that partnership with Souček? Do you think they're just a good partnership? And I asked that because I mean, if he was to come to Liverpool, he'd be playing in a midfield three, wouldn't he? And he wouldn't necessarily have that consistent partner alongside him. He'd have, you know, 2 eights that are probably going to look to get, you know, bomb on and be up and down the pitch. He might be left a bit more exposed at times. So
it all depends who Liverpool want to buy to go with him. Look, if you got Declan Rice as your six and you got Thiago next to him, Thiago's not really going to bomb on much. Thing with Declan Rice, he's got the legs. He can be box to box. He's quite an athlete. He's got a pass in him. He can read the game really well. So I'm not too concerned if that's the case. That Thiago can play with him, and then whoever we buy, you know, you can put Elliott next to him this season, a Hendo next to him, and then he would be solid. So yeah, I think it all depends what we get after him. But Declan I wouldn't be surprised with Declan Rice. I think he's the one a few of the Premier League teams are going to be looking at. I think he's gettable because
I think all the top six would be looking at him, to be honest.
Yeah, I think Man City with Phillips and Rodri, I think City would be like. I think City are going to be looking for a more advanced 8, like Jude Bellingham, especially with Gundogan leaving in the summer. So yeah,
and Bernardo Silva.
Yeah, and Bernardo Silva. I mean, that's going to be a massive miss to him. Even whoever they get in, that's a huge miss for him. Steven Gerrard looks like to be the next manager of Wigan to step down, but I think that's what he needs to do, man. I think that's what Stevie needs. He needs that. The Premier League was too quick, too soon. Do you guys think one midfielder is enough for us to have a good second half of the season? Yeah. I think it is.
I think so, but just like you said, Jay, I think it needs to be a Premier League experienced midfielder. You need somebody that can just come right into the side, you know, that understands the league. You know, obviously wouldn't have played for us, but understands what we're about, our style of play, and someone you can just very quickly drop into that side if you need to. I think if you sign somebody from Europe and they take time to settle, it's almost pointless doing because the season will be over before that guy's actually had an impact on the side. So somebody like a Rice or Caicedo would be my sort of.
Everyone's talking about Neves as well.
Yeah, but
everyone's talking about Neves as well. Liverpool very linked with him.
I don't know if he works in our system. Though.
He's very. I suppose he's Thiago-like. I suppose in a way, ain't he? But I don't know. I don't know. I think we just need a defensive-minded midfielder. I think that's what we want, and that's what we're trying to get. I don't think we're after an attacking 8 or anything like that. I think we're just after a defensive-minded midfielder that can get around the pitch. But has a bit of quality about him. So Caicedo maybe, a Rice, then kind of Premier League players. Otherwise, he's just going into another league and getting like a Lamar or something like that who's going to be cheap. But we will see. But let's talk about one guy that looks like he could be off for being so. There's rumours that Barcelona and Atletico Madrid are very, very interested in Fabinho. But Liverpool want 50 mil. So these are the rumours going around today. So Barcelona and Atletico Madrid are both interested in Liverpool's Fabinho, but Liverpool would want at least 50 mil for the man. Now, personally, if that is the truth, I would. If anyone came in with 50 mil, it goes simple. You know, you snap their hand off for 50 mil right now, thinking about the way he's playing right now. And a lot of people might be thinking, no, 50 million is a lot of money. I mean, look at the way he's playing. But he's only just turned 29. He's an experienced footballer. He's a Brazilian international. He's going to the World Cup. Yeah, he might not play much, but when he's at his best in the right setup right now, I still think he is a 50 million pound player. He just, with Fabinho right now, I just don't think, if you put him in a team that is a bit more defensive minded, Fabinho's great. You know, because there's less spacing behind him and things like that. If Tottenham, if Fabinho played for Tottenham right now, he'd look amazing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? If Fabinho played for Chelsea when he was manager, Thomas Tuchel was manager, Fabinho would look amazing because there's not much space. You know, I think he needs that sort of club now. So I'm 50 mil, Barcelona. Like obviously Barcelona. You know, I'm sick of selling to Barcelona, but by the look of it, they're going to be selling Frankie de Jong, so they're going to have money. Atletico Madrid, they've got to sell some of their players to make some money. And if these are the players they're looking at, if I look at Barcelona's midfield, you know, Sergio Busquets might need some help. So Fabinho and him, they haven't really got anyone else there at the moment. Atletico Madrid got Koke, but he's like, they might need a Fabinho there. A Fabinho under Simeone works at Atletico Madrid. I think he'd be a decent player there. So what do you reckon?
50 million for Fab seems good money at the minute, based on how he's played this season. But I suppose the question is, how much do you believe he can get back to playing somewhat close to when he was at his best? Because when he was at his best, he's one of the best defensive midfielders in the world. And that price tag you could, almost double. So it's how much faith you've kind of got in him to get back. Now, his performances have slightly improved over the past 2, maybe 3 games. And I don't know if it was like a Robertson situation whereby if he got a good rest or somebody else was brought in so you could rotate him, that he might get back to his best, or whether he generally is just, got too many miles in the legs and he's probably declining in his career. It's a bit early for his age, but I suppose it can happen. Maybe it's the system and what the demands are for a 6 in this team just doesn't quite fit him at the minute. So I think it's a very tough one. I'd be really reluctant to let him go, if I'm being honest with you, because we're going to need 2 players to play that 6th position. So if you let him go, you've got to sign 2. And if you keep hold of him, you only need to get 1 body in there. And if you can get another body in there and rotate them, I feel like you would see a better Fabinho. So I don't know. I'd be reluctant to let him go. The only thing that's kind of tempting is the price tag. It's like 50 million. And I know 50 million would be seen as not a lot of money in today's game, but actually you could invest 50 million quite well again. I mean, I know he's not a number 6, but you won't be paying too much more than that to get Casado in. So that's the kind of like money you're talking, really. Or even Rice, how much would Rice cost in January and then in the summer? 50 million towards that wouldn't be bad business. But I just feel reluctant to let him go, to be honest, because I still feel like there's a player in there. And as I say, he's part of that core group that, Ali and Bobby are in. So maybe you keep him around just for like that squad dynamic as well. But it's a shame because he did well last season, and then this season he's been pretty poor. So we just need to understand what the real Fabinho is nowadays, I guess.
Yeah, this is the thing that if Liverpool feel that Fabinho's come to the end of his time at the club, and the way he's playing right now, and Liverpool look at it, and Klopp look at it and thinking, I don't think we're going to get much more out of Fabinho now. We're not going to get much more out of him. I look at it; it's kind of like you look at the Bobby situation, and we're getting stuff out of Bobby this season. So it's like, and I'm looking at Fabinho and thinking we're just not, and we're trying all different ways of playing to cover for Fabinho. In my opinion, I think the whole formation change was to help Fabinho. I don't think it was because of the midfield options we didn't have. Because if you have it, G was talking about this last night on his channel. Big up G, guys. If you've not, please go and subscribe to GTV. Let's get him going, guys. Go and subscribe to him if you've not already. But yeah, he's on his channel last night, and he was talking about it. With the injuries we've had, if you really look at the injuries we've had, they've not actually all been first teamers. The main injury, apart from Jota and Luis Diaz, everyone's sort of been like squad-based players that have been injured. It's not been the main core of players. And I just wonder if, like, Fabinho's just his time's come, and we've got to move him on. And if it is 50 million, and people are willing to accept 50 million, and then you can go and replace Fabinho with a Caicedo, which has got younger legs, can move around the pitch better, and that's what Klopp wants, and that makes us better, then it might be worth doing. Because look, I've said it for a while now, we keep hold of too many players too long sometimes. Like, you could argue maybe that Henderson shouldn't be at Liverpool anymore. It's been here almost 12 years. You could put an argument there. You can argue that Milner should definitely not be at Liverpool anymore. Oxlade-Chamberlain outstanding his welcome 3 years ago. Keita, should have probably sold him last season. We were in the summer when people were after him, and we kept him. And then they get too old, and then we don't. Like, we're going to lose money on a lot of these players. Like, take the Galley for free. Milner obviously wouldn't get any money for anyway, but Ox is going to leave for free. We're not going to make investment back on these players. And if Fabinho is not going to get any better than he is now, and the decline is just going to get a little bit worse season on season, if you can get 50 mil for him right now, I think it's a sensible thing to do and let him go and just invest that and get someone else in.
Well, the thing is, like, if that 50 million price tag that's being suggested, speculated, is true, I'm just trying to think, if he was signed in January for 50 million, say, or sorry, not signed in January for 50 million, but we accept that's his value. The following 4 or 5 months to get you to the summer, do you think he could increase that value? Do you ever see a point in time where Fabinho would be worth more than 50 million now? Because if not, right, and I know the ownership thing changes all of this, because we might get new money in and a lot of it, and we might not need to be having these conversations, but let's assume the strategy is the same as it has been. Fabinho, 50 million, we've not got a lot of sellable assets in this squad. Like, the value in some of our players is in Salah and Virgil and Alisson. We're not going to let them players go. So you've not got any assets you can sell and recoup money. 50 million for Fabinho might not be a bad price. Now, like I say, I think there's still a player there if he's rotated, and I still feel like he can have a place in this squad. But then you think, well, 50 million, and it's like at some point you do have to lose some of these players when the right money's in there, and 50 million might just be the right money for him.
50 million for a defensive midfielder who is not as good as he was 2 years ago. It's a lot. I think that's a great price.
Yeah, and that's the only thing with it. Like, I don't want to sell him for the reasons I've just said. But then you say 50 million, and I'm like, and then it's tempting. Do you know what I mean? Because if you'd have said half that, I'd be like, nah. If you said 30 million, I'd be like, 40 maybe, but 50, it's a bit like, that's a lot of money for a defensive midfielder, like you say.
Yeah, and I'm looking at it as well. Like, Liverpool made 70 million back in the summer, yeah? So there's money there. So you got that 70 million they made back in the summer. So you got that. You sell Fabinho in the January. You got that on top of it. You got like over 100 mil there to spend in Jan. You know, what we do know of FSG, when they do sell players, they do give Klopp all the money to spend. So if you let them go, and you know that Kate is probably going to sign a pre-contract agreement in January with another team, Ox is going to leave in January as well, like leaving the summer as well for free. So you can get a player or two in January, cover the cost of that, and then in the summer, depending on what we are like a club, we might have new investment by then, or we still got FSG. We can look and getting another midfielder in the summer. Then you got 3 midfielders in. You know,
well, I think if you sell Fabinho in January, you still got to bring 2 in. I would say. I think regardless of what you do, you've got to be 1 up leaving January, is what I would say.
Yeah.
If you let 1 go, you bring 2 in. You let 2 go, you got to bring 3 in. I don't think you can walk away with the same amount of numbers from January. I think, regardless of what you do with Fabinho, I think you've still got to bring players in and walk away. You know, go into the second half of the season with more midfielders available to you. Or I say that, you know, if Ox goes early or something called Naby goes early, then you know replace them, fine, because you're replacing people that aren't reliable with some that you hope are. So that situation will be different. But Fabinho, in fairness to him, he is reliable. It's just his performances. So I think if you let him go, replace him, but then still get somebody else.
But the problem with that is like, so with no one's going to buy Cater. He's going to go for a free. No one's going to come in. I just don't see anyone coming in for Cater in January for a transfer because of his injuries and all that, and he's not fit at the moment. It wouldn't make sense for anyone financially to go and buy him like in January. So they're just waiting to get him on free.
Yeah, he won't want it either. That signing on bonus he'll get in summer will be big as well.
Yeah. Ox will leave on the free. So the problem is with the we don't have to replace the Ox. This is my thing when I look at it. We don't actually have to replace the Ox because he never plays anyway. So he doesn't really need replacing as a number. Cater, does Cater really need replacing because he never plays anyway? You know, we need to replace the ones that do play, if you know what I mean. So Henderson replace, Fabinho replace, Thiago replace. So if you get 3 players that replace them 3, then them 3 go to the bench, and you got 3 new ones in place. Do you see what I mean? Then you got 6 midfielders. At this moment in time, we've got.
I know what you mean.
So we don't really need to replace Ox and Cater because they don't play. We need to replace the ones that do play at this moment in time. So you get.
I know what you're trying to say. I think what you mean is you do replace Ox and Naby with first teamers, and then the current first teamers become
that's it.
The second options. Yeah,
exactly, and that's what it should be. You know, Hendo, Thiago, and Fabinho probably right now should be more bench players. You get 3 new fresh bloods in, and you can rotate them all. You know, I've got no problem keeping Fabinho, Thiago, and Henderson as squad players that rotate with 3 fresh midfielders. Then you got your youngsters. Then you got Carvalho and Harvey Elliott as your 2 youngsters. So right then you got 3 veteran midfielders that are still worth keeping around. You buy 3 brand new midfielders that are fresh, going to be part of your first team, and then you got 2 youngsters in Carvalho and Elliott. That is 8 midfielders. And you've got rid of the most injury-prone ones in Ox and Cater that you don't have to rely on no more for when they come back. And then Thiago. See, the thing with Thiago, it wouldn't matter if Thiago's only. Then you can keep Thiago fresh for the big moments in games, so the big games. Then Thiago don't have to play every week and get these injuries. Then he's fresher, more relaxed. You know, not playing as much. You just bring him in when you need to. That's what we've got to do. That's what we've got to do.
It feels so unnatural though, like talking about that situation, because so used to not having that many options available. Like when you was describing that, and I'm thinking, you got Curtis Jones in there as well, and then
He's got to go as well. Curtis has got to go.
I was thinking we'll have too many, and then I'm like, oh no, is that just me have I just been climatized to that we only have 3 available at a time?
That's how we should be thinking as a football club now. Like Curtis Jones, too injury prone. He's never going to be playing enough football to get any good anyway, so let him go. Ox and Cater never play, so you're not actually replacing them. You know, let them go. That's them 3 gone. Milner, should be let go in the summer. I don't want to see Milner get a contract extension. There's no point unless he wants to become unless he wants to stay at Liverpool and become part of the coaching staff. Don't mind, but not as a footballer. Not next season. If he wants to carry on playing, Liverpool got to let him go. No more sentimental bollocks. Just let him go. All right, that's them 4 gone. Then you keep your 3 veterans because like Henderson is still worth keeping as a squad player. Thiago is definitely worth keeping as a squad player, and Fabinho is worth keeping as a squad player. No doubt about it. Then you buy 3 fresh faces in, 1 in January, 2 in the summer. You put them into the club, and then you can mix it up. Yeah, you don't have to play all the 3 new ones. Keep the 3 on the bench. You can mix up your team. You can play you can play a Thiago with the 2 new boys, or you can play one of the new boys with the 2 old veterans, and just mix it up and keep that midfield fresh. And then you got Carvalho and Elliott as your 2 youngsters, and then they won't play as much, but they're learning the game because they've got new faces in. They've got the veterans they can learn off in training, and it keeps everyone fresh.
Well, I totally agree with you, Jay. But just in addition to that, what I would be looking to do is maybe Curtis, Carvalho, and Bajcetic. I would probably look to loan, and then if we see how the season goes, and then there are real fallbacks, whether it's because we need to replace somebody because they're injured, we try and bring them back early, maybe in January or whatever. Or if they have really good seasons and they end up being really good players, because they all have potential, then they come back into the squad because they've earned that right, But during that loan spell, they're still playing, they're getting minutes, they're improving, they're gaining experience, their wages being paid by somebody else, and they're because I don't want to keep hold of Jones if he's not going to play, and same with Bajcetic and the same with Carvalho. Like, I want them to play, but at the same time they're probably not good enough at this moment in time to be in a Liverpool starting 11, so that's why I'd look to loan them. But then you've got to really think about what money you're generating. You probably couldn't afford to loan them because there's no income there to then reinvest into the squad, so that's where it starts becoming quite tricky. Like you say, we should be keeping Thiago and Fabinho and Henderson and replacing, have them as maybe the bench options, and then having a new starting 11. But where's that money coming from? That's the trouble. You might have to sell Fabinho just to get the money to be able to replace him. But, then you're affecting your depth, aren't you? And it's just a bit of a vicious circle.
Exactly. It's a difficult one. Look, it all depends on ownership at the end of the day. It all depends when this investment happens. I'm not sure. There's a lot of talk about that, investments going to happen sooner or later. And I literally don't know, guys. We could be a year away. We could be 6 months away. We could be 3 weeks away. I have no idea. It's FSG.
Might not happen. Might not happen at all.
Yeah, it might not even happen.
You could see FSG sell only 10% of Liverpool to get some initial funds in.
That's it. We just don't know right now. It's an awkward one, but look, it's exciting in a way as well because it's exciting for me anyway. I'm a content creator, so I've got things to talk about. But look, Pac-Man's here. Here he is. 50 million. Fuck me. There you go.
Batman, don't think you've got away with it, mate. We all know you went missing at the weekend, so you better get your whereabouts in the chat because we were looking for you on Saturday.
He went MIA, no doubt about that. Right, guys, we're going to leave it there. Thanks to everyone joining me and Cav today. I do appreciate it. Guys, tomorrow, I am back tomorrow. It's the mid-season report. It is the mid-season report at 10 p.m.
I'll give you F, must improve.
If you're available for 10 p.m. tomorrow, Cav, you're more welcome to come on to that. So, so guys, make sure you join me and Cav tomorrow for 10 p.m. We're going to be doing the mid-season report. We're going to go through Liverpool Football Club as a whole. And I'm going to talk about some of the ownership stuff as well. And, we're going to talk about it, guys. It needs serious talk about it and see what Liverpool could do when we come back after the World Cup. So, Cup. So, guys, what... No owner news at the moment, my man, but maybe some tomorrow. Make sure you're checking that video at 10 p.m. tomorrow. So, guys, what's going to happen here? As soon as this video ends, you're going to be taken straight to the video for tomorrow. So don't go anywhere. It's 100 people here right now. I want everyone to go and like that video for tomorrow. So no one go anywhere. As this video ends, you'll be taken straight to tomorrow's video. Make sure you hit the like button on tomorrow's video for me. Get the video pumping. Right, guys, thank you very much for joining us. I'll see you tomorrow.